Welcome back to part 2 of Living History. In this episode we've got Colonials, we've got guns, we've got Frenchmen, and we've got a very famous actor from Sharp.
Here today it's 1777 and the soldiers have just returned from Princetown and Trenton, the battles, and sadly I'm from Fredericksburg, Virginia. I'm next door neighbor of Fielding Lewis, and his wife is Betty Washington, the general's sister, and the general's mother lives just around the corner from us. But one of my dearest friends is Hugh Mercer, who is our doctor and apothecary, but also a general, and he's just recently lost his life at Princeton. And these folks have been ever so kind. They've granted me hospitality and assistance. My son sadly has been captured by the British. He and his friend were on the Mosquito, which is a merchant ship, and the officers were captured and sent to a prison which I think is somewhere near Plymouth, but I'm not exactly sure, and I'm trying to get information about where he might be and whether I can go and visit him or not. And so these good folks are helping me and allowing me to rest as well. It's a long way from Fredericksburg to here.
Yes.
So it's taken months, but yes, their hospitality is most kind. And this pub really grants welcome and hospitality to our soldiers and for travelers. Very, very kind folks.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome, Mum.
They're not originals, but they are firing either shotguns or firearms, and they all work.
What sort of era are we talking about?
This is generally from the period of the American War of Independence, 1775 on.
Yeah.
The Brown Bess and the Charleville, the two on the end there, they go right up into the Napoleonic period.
Right.
Because the Brown Bess in particular, that's the longest serving military firearm in the world.
Is it?
That was in use in one form or another for over 170 years.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the earliest iteration. That's the correct name for it, everybody calls it the Brown Bess. That is the long land pattern musket.
Right.
After that came the short land pattern musket, which, as the name suggests, is about 4 inches shorter. After that comes the India pattern, which is shorter again and less fittings. They're gradually becoming simpler and simpler guns.
Is that? Was it more difficult to use the longer they were, or?
They're certainly more unwieldy the longer they get.
Are they less accurate as well?
Well, there was a conception at the time that length meant accuracy.
Yeah.
That isn't strictly true, but that was a thought. In one respect, it was factual, because if you take one of the American long rifles, but purely because it's long, the distance between the back sight and the foresight is so long that it gives you a much finer degree of aim, because the 2 points are further apart.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Now then, that's the only way in which the length makes that more accurate.
Right.
That one, which was once described to me as an excellent way to spoil a 12-year-old boy, is a child's long rifle.
Oh, right.
Because you'd be shooting as soon as you could hold a rifle, essentially, in this period. But that's probably as accurate as that one.
Yeah. Wow.
Both 50 caliber.
Right.
Both.
Bore.
No. Well, that one actually and that one are smooth.
Yeah.
That one, because it's what they termed in the period a smooth rifle.
Right.
In other words, it's a utility gun. You could use it for lots of different things.
Yeah.
You could, if you're going off on a long hunting or trapping expedition, you could use that to shoot shot, small game for the pot. You could use it to shoot a patched 50 caliber ball for large game and self-protection, and with a well patched 50 caliber ball up to 70 yards, it's equally as accurate as a true rifle.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one is actually a rifle.
Right.
It's quite difficult to see the rifling grooves in
Right.
the end of the barrel. It's easier to see on this one, which I'm in the process of building.
Right.
You can see the rifling grooves.
Oh yeah.
In
Yes.
that one, and they spiral down inside the barrel.
How'd you get the grooves in the barrel?
I give to you, sir, the 18th century rifling machine.
Right.
You'll see there that this is set up for a pistol barrel.
Yeah.
So you've got the rifling
Yeah.
forms cut in that
Yeah.
cylinder there, and as you pull back,
Right.
that pulls this mandrel bar back.
Yeah.
And as it pulls it back, it turns it through a spiral.
Right.
On the end of that mandrel is a simple cutter,
Oh right. Yes.
and that literally scrapes the inside of the barrel at that spiral.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you do 20 or 30 pulls at that position.
Right.
At that point, you would take out the pin,
Yeah.
turn it to the next groove,
Right.
start again.
1759 is this the year?
We're in the French-Indian Wars in North America,
Yeah.
and we did rather well in 1759. We got Quebec off the French, we got Bombay off the French. We're doing quite well in Europe, and also we got a sugar island. But when they had the peace, I'm talking in the future, we gave the sugar island back to the French, and we kept America. They come back and want some hot water,
Yes.
either for tea or they sometimes pour it down their muskets to clean the gunpowder out. The residue. My friend is a colonial chappie. The ladies are ladies, you know.
Of course.
They obviously like it. I'm a shipwrecked sailor, so all ladies like sailors because we sail away.
Yes.
And why I'm not married is because they obviously then married a cavalry officer. Shocking, isn't it? Shocking.
Shocking, yeah, it's terrible. You don't know what they're missing. Thank you. What are you holding?
About 1720.
Is it?
1720.
Was this genuine 17? Yeah. Oh right. Wow.
That's amazing.
Beautiful.
Yeah. It's lovely.
Do
So,
they actually fire these?
so are they all the same dates or?
Around the same period, the bottom one, the coaching carbine, is probably late 17th to early 18th century. So 1690 to 1720, something like that.
Delicate though.
These are 18th century.
Yeah. That's delicate grip. You know, thinking, tricky. Beautiful. What a lot barrel there. Beautiful. Like a tiger.
Yeah, tiger stripe.
Is that a hunting rifle?
That is, yeah, that's what became the American long rifle.
Oh right.
Yeah.
That's fascinating, isn't it? Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Oh, are you going to enjoy this?
What are you going to
It's
do?
just the shit I'm wearing. I'm getting on.
He's going to do a striptease for you.
All right, you're going to strip for
Your
us.
equipment. God. Oh. Boy, I just should be a bloody general. Pensioned off.
Or pensioned off, yeah.
So I'm portraying a Hessian grenadier during the American War of Independence.
Right. So which side were you on?
I'm on the British side.
All right,
The British royal family was related heavily to lot of the families in Germany at the time,
Yes.
or a lot of the states that were in Germany, and because he was related, it made it it enabled them to make contracts to borrow soldiers to fight in America, because the army had reduced quite a bit in that period, and so numbers seemed to be made up from elsewhere. So he asked his relatives in Germany, "Can we borrow your soldiers?"
Right.
And so my ruler would have been paid for me to go and fight for the British.
Right. Okay, so what year was that roughly? What?
776.
776. Okay, thank you very much.
My pleasure.
With the muskets, if you shot your ramrod at the enemy, you could carry on firing. There was called tap loading. You drop the faint wall down the barrel, a couple of taps on the ground, good to go. As long as you don't point the barrel down whereby the ball is going to roll out. So, next thing he's going to do is prime the gun. Pour a small amount of powder into the priming pan. Same as the redcoats would have done with the muskets. He's replacing the plug in his powder horn. This is also important. You get a spark in there, you have a wonderful Roman candle. Are you ready to fire, sir?
I should be.
Okay, if you would like to about face and fire. Now, I forgot to mention, this is actually a Jaeger rifle. Okay, this is the problem with all these things. Now, that's what's called a flash in the pan.
Your headquarters is rather posh.
It is, and I should be changed by now. We've had an accident this morning, so I'm a bit behind, but yes.
That's lovely.
Yes, the Colonel would have lived in this. And he had about 200 men that would have carted it all around for him.
I was going to say, how did you manage to take it everywhere?
Well, it's all designed, it's like that there, it breaks into two halves.
Right.
And it's a certain size measurement, so it
Yes.
all fits on the back baggage train. He was allowed 3 pieces of baggage himself, anything else he would have paid for. And all this.
Campaign wearing, he's got these special handles that took it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. When you see that sort of stuff, it's always for campaign. See the handles on them.
And the idea is that would actually fold up. You can put the 2 pieces together, and if we was really slumming it, you could use the top of it as a bed.
Yeah.
That's dual purpose then, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's all designed to certain sizes, so it will all fit on the baggage train together.
It's like a home from home, isn't it? When you're
They could have been away for 2 or 3 years.
Yes.
Most of them, they didn't camp very often, but most of them would have just got ahead to a village and then commandeered accommodation.
So Napoleonic.
I mean, we could pop.
Hello. Or bonjour.
You right?
Yeah, how's it going?
Good, yeah? Yeah, we're just trying some lunch. Yeah. Period lunch. Period
So
lunch.
is this period like this is what you would be eating?
Yes, so it consists of their daily rations, which is an ounce of rice,
Yes.
a half a pint of peas, dried peas, a pound of hardtack, which is that stuff over there, also known as ship's biscuit, and then a pound and a half of salt pork. And salt pork is done, it's packed in a barrel with salt layers,
Yes.
and then filled up with a salt brine, and that's how they salt it. The soldiers, when given it, would shove it in a pot together, about 10 men each per pot, and just boil it. They'll just boil it together and then eat it. They most likely would get dysentery from it because
Yes.
the pots wouldn't be clean,
No.
the water wouldn't be clean, and if they didn't have time to fully cook it, the meat could not be cooked, and
Properly.
you could get all sorts of diseases and
Yes.
food poisonings from it.
Yes.
But they would be lucky to get the rations though, because the army wouldn't be able to actually always feed them.
No.
And sometimes if they got their rations, they would just eat it all then and not savour it. They would eat all their rations, and if they don't get any food for a few more days, they would just deal with it. If they had enough money, they could also buy their own stuff. There were vendors that would follow the camps who would sell bread, cheese, meat as well. So they could buy their own stuff, but if they couldn't buy anything, they could often loot.
How on earth are you supposed to fight if you've got dysentery and lots of other things?
They were. If you don't fight, you're going to die.
Yeah.
So
Either way, by the sound of it.
they would have to force themselves to. They it wouldn't have been the prettiest of lives of soldiers, because
Yeah.
neither would they have been for most of the Confederate wars, they didn't even have tents because they were issued to the army after 1813. So during the most of the Peninsular War, most of the soldiers would have just slept outside, wrapped in their grey coats and a grey blanket that they would have been issued.
Not a nice life.
No, not a life.
No.
But to deal with it, they were issued 5 pints a day of beer.
Oh well, that's improved.
If they couldn't get beer, it would be a pint of wine, and if no wine, they'd get a pint of spirits.
That sounds all right to me.
Half a pint of spirits, not a pint of spirits.
Where do I join?
Exactly.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you. I'd like to say hello. I'm Jason S.O.S.K.A.N, played Rifleman Harris from Sharp. I've written a book about my adventures.
Right.
Come and see me at the International Living History Festival this weekend.
That sounds wonderful. I couldn't have said it better myself, really.
Or go to my website, riflemanharris.co.uk.
Yes, even more better.
Or find me on Facebook, Rifleman Harris fan site, or Two Sharps Rifles groups.
I don't need to say anything else. All said. Thank you.
Section! John! Dressing by the left. Shoulder arms. Slow arms. Dressing by the left. Quick march. Section, to your left hand, about wheel. About wheel.
These inexpensive kit churches and chapels and mission halls were built in newly established industrial areas such as pit villages and isolated rural and coastal locations to promote Christianity and combat nonconformism. They were also shipped to colonies of the British Empire. Some interesting facts about the First World War. 700,000 women entered the workforce. The Warring Nations used millions of horses. Tanks were first used in the Battle of the Somme, and Britain manufactured and used poison gas. was estimated 20 million deaths and 21 million casualties during the First World War. And did you know that tanks had genders? At the beginning of the war, tanks were grouped according to their gender. The male tanks had cannons attached, while the female carried machine guns. Women working with TNT saw their skin turn yellow as they suffered from toxic jaundice.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
So, what are you doing?
I am just going to be typing a new list.
So, what's the list for? Is it?
It's a normal roll for platoon.
Right.
So it's the name of every member.
Oh, right, okay.
But that's an old list, so I need a new one.
Yes. Andy's got excited here because we're in a blacksmith shop. Next door we've got, an old washing mangle and dolly tubs. And next door we've got nail makers. Right, we've got a lovely little house here and a lovely little garden as well. This is lovely. I'd love a garden like this. Yeah, and this is exactly what I'd love to live in, to be honest. I'd love a little cottage and a garden like this. This is what I want, yes. I'm assuming outside privy. Yes, the outside loo.
Just dressed as posh now. Well, dressed as posh now.
So, what era are we in here? What do we think? Is this 40s? The table set out. It's been lovely outside.
Could be 1940s, isn't it?
It has to be, isn't it? Is it 40s?
I should think so, but the car is clear.
What about the 30s then?
Could be.
It could be 30s or 40s. This is the little kitchen, isn't it? I suppose this is it. That's...
Yeah, that'll be it, won't it?
Yeah. And the bedroom.
Downstairs bedroom.
Yes. Oh, look at the wallpaper. And the sofas, everything. Really low ceilings. This is a very small, cosy little cottage.
These would have been two houses.
Really? Those would have been two houses?
There's a door here, block bricked up. So that
Really?
would have been one. There's been one up, one down.
I don't bite.
I didn't know anybody was actually in there. Have you got to sit there all day?
He's waiting for that right person.
That right person.
Yeah, I'm short of blondes on my hit list.
We better run off then quickly.
This is the Second World War Home Guards, of which my granddad was one. They were nicknamed the Broomstick Army. After 250,000 tons of supplies were lost at Dunkirk, there wasn't much equipment to give the Home Guard. As a result, in their first few years of existence, they were usually armed with no more than wooden sticks, and if they were very lucky, personal firearms that had been bestowed away at home.
similar technique, but just a different way of doing it. Once again, he shoots the pose, creeps up behind, and once he gets within strike range, he's going to do 2 actions simultaneously. With his left forearm, he's going to strike it in the windpipe, same principle, block off the throat, that stops the air going in, and with his right hand, he's smacking him in the small of his back. What that creates is a scissoring action. His outcome goes forward, that makes it hard to breathe. You smack it to the windpipe, that locks the windpipe up, again makes it hard to breathe. Once he's done that, arm around, over the mouth and nose, close that off, stop him breathing, hold on to him again, lay him down nice and gently. If he's still struggling, put the boots in, get him out of action, and then the horse can carry on his merry way. Now, the next one we'll show you is a bit slightly different. Special six. Once again, scenario where in the desert, absolutely nothing going wrong, Paul's not dropping it, and he's sneaking up to take him out quietly. However, as we all see in the films, despite the fact there is nothing but nice smooth sand all over, our intrepid hero finds the one bloody rock and makes a massive crack that can be heard to Christendom. Bugger! Now, all is not lost. In one swift, bold movement like the gazelle that he is, Paul will get him in a headlock, run through mud guts nuts, get him on the floor, and he can carry on. Now, that is simple ways of how to take your opponent out quietly and keep him alive. However, in the war, sometimes we need to take somebody out permanently, and this is what we'll show you here. So, we've seen the classic sneak up behind the sentry, like so, knife across the windpipe and cut. Massive spray of arterial blood all over the place, and he's out of picture. If Fairburn decides to say this is rubbish, you do that, you can make noise, you can gurgle, you can still scream with enough air in your lungs. Once again, you can make enough noise for your mate over yonder to come and see what is going on. So, the way Fairburn decides to teach you to do this is different. You creep up behind your man thusly, and in 2 movements, the first being, you take your blade and you slam it into the side throat. The reason for this, that takes out the carotid, jugular and the windpipe in one swift movement. With that lovely steel in the middle of your throat, you are not making a noise. However, this is not the end of it. To make doubly sure that that man is not making any noise, what you do there with every ounce of strength you possess, you push forward. You can't scream for help if you haven't got a throat. Once again, let him down nice and gently, flip the soggy thing off the end of your knife, and you can carry on your way. Thank you, chaps. Now,
let's have a look what we've got down here. Ah, prefab. So this is from Birmingham. Little prefab house. 1953. Wow. Look at this, yeah.
And I loved it. Yeah. And she was like, I think I've got that pattern on a tray cloth. Yeah. I love all of it. Yeah, it's great. It's great. Freezing.
Yeah.
It is, yes.
It's fabulous. Reminds me of your grandmother's.
Yes.
The doll's a bit scary.
It's funny how you can have fond memories of, you know, a tin house essentially.
Yes. There's a lot of these that you've always
Yes.
back in where my mum used to live.
Yes.
Supposed to be only there for about 20 years. They were there for about 50 years.
Yes, this one was lived in for 40 years.
Yeah.
40 years,
40
yes.
years,
Yeah, they were only meant as a temporary thing, weren't they?
That's right, 10 years.
10 years.
Was the last one.
And then they were
Still lived in.
still lived in, yeah.
Yes.
Amazing.
Fabulous. Oh, so that's the statue. Into bath.
In the bath.
Oh gosh, yeah. Now that does remind me, I think, of
Yeah.
you know, that
Remind-
colour, I think, as well.
Yeah,
that
it
sort
reminds me
of
of my nan's bath,
yes. Yeah, I think around Grandma's
Yeah.
want us to go around there. So this is a toll house.
Toll house.
Right. It's a nice little, I mean the garden's lovely. The pump. An old cast iron bath there. I bet there's a few people of a certain age who'll remember those.
Created this pond.
Yeah, created this in the 1970s, wasn't it? To represent a typical Worcestershire farm pond. That's a really pretty pond. Hello, I wasn't expecting to see you here today.
Running away mission.
Yes, we'll live long and prosper, thank you.
Well, we're on our way back home now. We've had a great day at Avoncroft. Highlights for you, Andy?
Oh, everything really. It was really good. I enjoyed it. All the periods, basically. Excellent. Really good.
And the fact you got a bottle of mead as well, that was...
A bottle of mead and got some tent pegs. Can't go wrong.
10 pence and a bottle of mead, you're easy to please.
I am, very.
I didn't get anything because there's nothing I really wanted. There was, I think it was quite interesting, all the different eras. Some I hadn't got a clue about because I'm not that jammed up on history. But you knew who they were, didn't you, most of them?
Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, it was well worth going. They do it a yearly event, so next year, pop along and you'll have a good day out about, families of all kinds like that. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Yes. The buildings themselves were fascinating as well to look at. So there's plenty of interest all around. And I'll see you back at the studio. Bye! Hi and welcome back to my little studio. Today we've been to Avoncroft Museum, where they had living history on today. Now the living history itself was fabulous. There was about 30 different groups there, all portraying different eras. We had from Stone Age right up to World War II and even beyond, because we have houses that were 50s style. We've got lots of people doing reenactments. We've got lots of things for sale. And also, of course, the fantastic houses that have been built there brick by brick from houses that were due for demolition. It's just a really wonderful historic place and somewhere really worth visiting. So I would say if you're around next year in the area of Worcestershire, I would definitely go and visit it. It's a good day out. Everybody loved it, from children to older people. It brought back memories for older people, and it also taught children about history. I mean, it wasn't just the British history in particular as well, because we had the colonial wars. We'd got the French there. We'd got that German person there. I want to say German person, the mercenary, who fought in the colonial wars. There was just so much history and so much interest there that hopefully you found it as interesting as we did. Now, our next video is again going to be something totally different. So if you like what I do, and me and Andy, this is more Andy's day today, he loves this kind of thing. If you like what we do, then please like and subscribe to our channel. We try and put on different things, not always the same things all the time. And we'd appreciate the help in growing the channel, and obviously the people who are on the channel, I'm sure they would appreciate other people viewing their work too. So thank you for watching, and I will see you again in the next video. Thank you. Bye.